Alright. What's happening, guys? No, I'm not doing some weird... That'll find its way in a video later on. Today we're going to have a look at these side panels, and I think it's probably going to be a multi-part episode purely because I'm going to catch up with the supply chain. I'm waiting on bits and pieces turning up. So, side panels, something I mentioned a while back in some of my earlier videos. I like when bikes have big beefy side panels. I get the drive for making it look like your bike's a skeleton and it's see-through and it's quite minimalist and everything else. I absolutely get that. I might even try and do that on the other XS850 that's next door. But for this bike, this bike to me, it's called Panther. As much as it is sleek, it's also strong and kind of. Just try to explain this. Like I didn't want a really minimalist looking bike. I wanted a nice clean looking bike, but I don't want it to look like it's thin and it's not got much. I think I explained before, like this bike, there's limitations with what you can do on like the wheel, for example. You've got a driven hub from a shaft drive, so it's kind of difficult to change the wheels if you want to keep the wheels looking the same and everything else. So your options for beefing up the bike in other ways, yes, you could put an upside down front end on it, but then you want like nice thick bigger wheels, which may not necessarily happen. So one way I wanted to keep the bikes looking good and keeping it nice, giving it, I guess, big brawny shoulders, was by building side panels. This fucking battery. Man, you've got 100% battery. Oh no, you've decided to film for at least 3 seconds. My stupid Amazon batteries decided to piece of shit. Hello. This battery is full apparently, which means we have approximately 45 seconds of filming before it dies as well. So, this side panel, what was I saying? Yes, I wanted a side panel. I went through an early iteration of just trying to take the sizes off that and getting to a place where, right, I have a CAD model of a side panel, what can I do with that? And I guess, as much as I love CAD, I kind of sing its praises because it's one of the few things that I can actually do to, not to a great degree, but like I know my way around it. Anyway, so having a CAD model was fine. Let's see if we can turn that CAD model into something that I like. Let's give it a bit of depth and let's do some other stuff and bits and pieces to it. So on the screen you see how I didn't just want a flat plate on the side. That was boring and it looked one-dimensional. I wanted to try and give it a bit of depth, and that was quite difficult on CAD. I was able to loft profiles and pull the surface and everything else, but it still didn't look quite right. Fucking snow. Anyway, so what I did next, hopefully you can hear me. What I did next was, right, well, okay, let's take the CAD thing anyway, and we'll print it out and we'll have a look and see what that looks like. 2 seconds. So I was able to make a 2D drawing, and I cut that out and I put that in place, and I'll cut this while we're talking. I already threw the last one away because I got angry, but for whatever reason this was not right. It ended up being quite I've just torn this. Jesus Christ. Welcome to Blue Peter. For my American friends, Blue Peter was this weird craft program. It was on children made stuff. It was the highlight of my childhood. So, when I ended up with what I thought was the right size, it was teeny tiny. Look at the size of that. I'll need to zoom because you can't actually see it. Oh. And yeah, that's not what I wanted. So I thought, right, where do we go from here? So I took a side profile picture of the bike. I still tried to use CAD, and there's a way you can import a picture and then you set a scale length between the 2 points. And when you set that scale length, that's it. Like that's your so you say that's 30 centimeters wide from a point to point. Mark that in the diagram. Everything that you make off of that is then going to be accurate, which is what I thought I had done. Let's have a look at this. Well, I've started to modify this because I got angry. So imagine this was longer, but anyway, it was, the angles and everything were all off. It was like, this isn't going to work. And this is for later. So, using CAD was not working for me. I needed to get on the bike and use my eyes. So, using that, how do I make side panels in? Let's go the old-fashioned route. Let's use CAD, cardboard aided design, rather than computer aided design. And sometimes, I'll openly admit it, sometimes just getting, the computer isn't always right, especially when you've got ham fists and the inputs aren't always going to be right. So getting, just even recording, Christ almighty, this is annoying. Getting, stupid thing, sorry for anyone who's actually wanting decent information out of this video. I've had a few coffees already and I'm distracted. You know? Boy! I'll do it after. So I decided to use CAD. Shut up! So, using CAD, how did I do that? So, seeing the pictures on screen, I took some masking tape, green tape, and just took the line that I needed. So I've got that angle finder tool, and that was fine, and I was able to get the angles that I thought I needed, like 66 degrees, 57 degrees. But when I cut it out at that shape, it just wasn't working very well. I don't know why. Whether maybe the angle ever so slightly changes, maybe I wasn't getting an accurate angle, but it was just looking shit. So that's why I used this masking tape idea, just to take a couple of lines down from the point that I needed it, take the line on the top, and then I transferred that to a bit of card, a nice bit of heavy duty, well not heavy duty, but like nice pliable card, similar to like cereal boxes, I guess, like that kind of level. I transferred that to a bit and then I put it back on the bike, and that was nice, great. I have now got something that I'm quite happy with in terms of overall size. How do I then take that thing that I've got, nice size, how do I turn that into something that I can use? So for me, I mentioned in the last video I was going to do fiberglass, like make a fiberglass, make a plug, and then make stuff out of fiberglass, make a mold out of fiberglass, and then make some either carbon fiber or just stick with fiberglass parts. So I am now at a stage where I've created a wooden plug. Bearing in mind this is going to be two-sided, so I've got to do one like this. So this is the bit that I've made, and I'm quite happy with it. And you may not see the best. I'll give you some B-roll looking at that. But I'm happy with this. This is a nice profile. That's what I wanted. It's not too long. It's not too short. I'm gonna stop there. So I've glued some bits of wood together using wood and glue, and my next task is to transfer this shape onto here and then cut this out, and then I'll be left with, if I wanted to do that and have like a really one-dimensional side panel, then that's fine. I could go and cut that out and do everything else. But I'm not done there. What I want to do is, I guess, cut out that shape, and I want to give it a bit of shape. So the bike, you're going to see in this little cutaway, which I'll use this camera for. You kind of see in this, fuck's sake, kind of see in this little cutaway, like there's more to the bike. It's not just, if you had a flat panel in there, it wouldn't look very good. Same when you look at the top down. there is a bit of shape there. And actually, I really like the Honda CB500 side panels. I think they look awesome. They're all round and stuff. And could I have bought them and made them work? Maybe, but I'm invested. I'm too far down the path. So I need to try and build some shape into this, and I kind of want it to be like more than just like, I kind of want it to be nice and curved in 2 dimensions. And because there's 2 to make, that makes this quite difficult, because whatever I make on one side, it's got to be exactly the same on the other side. Exactly the same. So that's where I'm at now. I have ordered some modelling clay. I did think about using some car body filler for this and just kind of building up, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some modelling clay, because Alan Bell and I had a good chat about this problem, and he's like, could you use that? I was like, oh, might as well. And when you do a bit of research, people do use air drying hard clay for these things. So my plan is to try and come up with a way this is still wet despite being drying for a few days, try and come up with a way that I can build up this profile, once I've cut this out obviously, build up this profile in a way that I can repeat it on another mould, and then because I've got modelling clay, I want to build a mould off of that. So I've ordered some mould making material, which is like gel coat, epoxy, tooling, gel coat, and everything else, and backing, and it's going to leave me with a nice mould. So plan today, however many minutes into this video, it's just to try and build up a bit of shape and see what we can get happy with. So my clay is going to arrive later on today. Once that clay arrives, we'll come back out here and we'll dick around with this. I'm not sure how this is going to work, by the way. This may go through several iterations. First things first, you need to cut this out. I'm not going to do that just now. I've changed my bandsaw to, I remember speaking about it last video, so I've now got it so it's got a vertical cutting arrangement. So I'm hoping, even though it's got a metal cutting blade on it, I'm hoping it still manages to cut through this easy enough. The reason I want that is because it will keep everything plain and true. If you ever try to use a jigsaw, you can sometimes get a wonky edge in it. I don't really want that. So yeah, once that clay arrives, we'll start building it up, try and get some shape to this, and we'll put it in there, see what it looks like, and then think about, right, how do we either try and build it to certain parameters, like do we cut some wood so that we've got our curves already made, so that I just have to get the clay at the right point. I know halfway through it should look like this, halfway down it should look like this, and everything else. Or do I build one, get happy with the shape, and then retrospectively build something else, like gauges for the other side, or just try and match it as closely as possible with my eyes. Maybe I'm overthinking this, I don't know. Let's get some clay and let's have a little play. God, that was beautiful. And there's some heavy metal music, blah 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 blah. Enjoy. I'm editing this video right now, however, I lied about the heavy metal. That's going to fall onto the next video. So I got some stuff delivered this afternoon, so in the next couple of days I'm going to start recording the next installment of this video. Otherwise this is going to be like 35-40 minutes long, so I'm going to break it up into chunks. So hopefully you enjoyed this. Any questions, leave them down below in the comments, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. See you later.